Welcome to another episode of Bitcoin Finance. In this episode, we discuss the question, is Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme? Well, this is something you often hear from people who aren't familiar with Bitcoin, and it's a very natural question to have around any kind of new investment or asset that seems to have made people who have become involved in it very rich very quickly. So I think the first thing is it's quite natural for anyone who is looking at acquiring Bitcoin, understanding it better, or who perhaps may be envious of others who already have Bitcoin, to ask the question, is it a Ponzi scheme? What we often actually see is a lot of people who are not that well informed making the statement definitively that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. So the answer is no, Bitcoin is not a Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi scheme is really a type of investment scheme where individuals pay money to a founder, a person who runs an investment program, and that founder in turn then pays out returns based on new money which is coming into the scheme. Bitcoin is very different. For a start, Bitcoin doesn't have an owner. It was an invention, a creation, which has been attributed to a man by the name of Satoshi. And yes, it is a man in the various writings where his gender is indicated. So Satoshi created Bitcoin, an algorithm that involves mining, and Satoshi himself had to mine every single Bitcoin that he owned before he died. So all of these Bitcoins have been created from inception. There is a public ledger which is available that shows every single Bitcoin in existence, every single transfer of that Bitcoin that's ever occurred. And so this level of transparency is something that one would never expect with a Ponzi scheme. Most Bitcoiners would tell you that the true Ponzi scheme is actually fiat currency. In other words, the money which is produced by governments, which has no limit in supply. Bitcoin is arguably the perfect defense to the fiat money Ponzi scheme because Bitcoin is limited in supply. And it's for this reason that you are seeing Bitcoin as measured in fiat currency continuing to increase in value. It's because the fiat currency is being increasingly produced, the supply of it is becoming greater and greater over time, and various people who have access to fiat currency are seeking to preserve the wealth of that currency by putting it into a limited currency in supply, which is of course Bitcoin.